By virtue of the powers vested in me as the acting chancellor of the University of Zululand, I hereby consecute this congregation for the conferment of degrees and awarding of diplomas and certificates. You may be seated.
I'm reading from Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 to 4. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. Let us pray. We thank you, dear Lord of the universe, for your creation, the marvels of the cosmos, the splendor of the earth, the worth of its resources, and the mental and manual abilities that enhance our existence. We give thanks for humanity in all its diversity, for the distinctive personality of each student, woman and man, and for the gathering communities of homes, schools, universities, villages, cities, and countries. We thank you for giving us the possibility to participate in the creative process via the use of our hands and minds, for the chance to plan and design, to nurture and grow, to serve and conserve, and to take care of one another through our education system. We are grateful that you have endowed us with unique abilities and duties, given us the capacity to think clearly and make decisions, and have given us the chance to advance justice and truth. Grant, we beseech you, Lord, that the proceedings of this day may be blessed by your continual presence, and that as we celebrate the achievements of these students, they may never forget that theirs is a call from you. Grant them the necessary patience, love, understanding, and care as they teach and as they serve and lead. We pray that you may cover them with splendor and grace and grace them as they submit their CVs in circuit offices. May those in charge go out of their way and be good to them. And we finally pray that this crop may produce reputable educators, school managers, and remarkable leaders of our education system. We ask all this through Jesus Christ, our role model, who served humanity with sacrifice. Amen.
Chancellor, Chief Justice Raymond Mnyamezeli Zondo in absentia, Chairperson of the University Council, Ms. Noma Rashia Kaluza in absentia. The Deputy Chairperson of the University Council, Dr. Andrew Kaniki, our Acting Chancellor this morning, and the Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Olusam Dose, members of Council, President of the Convocation, Mr. Nkwanyana in absentia, the Chair of the Institutional Forum, Professor Khreling, members of Executive and Extended Management, members of Senate, all university staff members, members of the Convocation and alumni, representatives from the Mkwanazi Traditional Authority, chiefs of the local traditional authorities, mayors of the district and local municipalities, our SRC president, Mr. Siemukela Kumalo, business partners, donors and sponsors, the student body at large, parents, guardians, and relatives of the graduates. Most importantly, our graduates. I wish to acknowledge the presence of our guest speaker, Mr. Mabizela, and I want to say to all, good morning, Sanibonani, Molweni, Dumelang, Jambo, Goeiemorgen. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Zululand, Professor Mtose, it is with a sense of profound collective triumph that I welcome you to the fifth of a series of the 2023 graduation ceremonies that are lined up to take place this week. These occasions have become an annual ritual where all of us, graduates, parents or guardians, sponsors, society at large, as well as university staff, commemorate the pinnacle of the work we have done over the years. Beyond the festivities, a graduation ceremony must be seen as a moment of deep reflection. It symbolizes a bridge we cross in a lifelong journey of human progress. From basic and foundational knowledge encountered and acquired during the first time we interact at the chalk floor, to the attainment of higher order knowledge, skills, and competencies that equip us with capabilities for making a difference in society. In this sense, the awarding or conferment of a qualification is not an end in itself, but it is an impetus for lifelong learning that should spew out new imaginations for the development of better life for all, free from the shackles of poverty, inequality, and other forms of human strife. Indeed, the ideals of creating a better life for all are implied in the debates about the purpose of university education. At the University of Zululand, we subscribe to a perspective which advocates and promotes a form of education that produces and disseminates knowledge and competencies, which enable graduates to engage in meaningful and productive work aimed at enhancing the livelihoods of the people or the community at large. In this connection, we draw insights from thinkers such as Frantz Fanon, who advocated that, I quote, "What matters is not to know the world, but to change it." Fanon goes on to say, I quote again, "In the world through which I travel, I am endlessly creating myself." End of quote. The purpose of university education, driven by such thinking, must manifest at 3 levels of society, that is the macro, meso, and micro level. At the macro or wider societal level, one of the main implications to derive from Fanon's words of wisdom is that the number and quality of graduates that exit universities must constitute the building blocks and catalysts to be deployed for the development of a learning society or a society that learns. Scholars like Han have described a learning society as, quote, "a model society in which the collective learning process is prevalent, equipped with competency to solve the problems inside by itself through consistent emergent evolution and learning," end of quote. Striving to achieve the status of a learning society is commended as a game changer in the transformation of a given political economy and the attainment of sustainable development. We therefore must look up to our graduates to become the promoters for the creation of a learning South African society. The melting pot for all this is at university level or at meso level. At Unizulu, we have embraced the responsibility to build a learning institution, one where continuous learning is used to transcend stifling preoccupation with survival demands and setting the organization on to a higher order service-oriented growth. The history of Unizulu attests to a trajectory that has seen the institution emerge from the proverbial edge of an abyss, poised between failure and success, and evolving to become a rekindled university that is being set onto a path of reinvention, anchored on an unexcelled Vision 27, under the mantra of building Unizulu as a node for African thought. Launched in November 2022, we can appreciate the significance of the idea of African thought when we juxtapose it with Western thought or worldview. We can recall that in recent years, South African universities had to deal with the #students campaigns, which called for a decolonized university curricula, describing the current curricula as Western-oriented and alienating, and citing, among other things, the use of Western-based literature to support learning. The students' movement also resonated with a growing body of contemporary academic intellectual currents that have characterized the curriculum in African universities as one of the main mechanisms by which colonial power continues to be exercised in ways that sustain the oppressive world order, much like what Steve Biko observed, that, quoting, the most potent weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed, close quotes. Put differently, by continuing to subject students to a curriculum aligned to the oppressor, the colonizer achieves compliance through mental control, or the way people think. Such a state of affairs is not only dehumanizing, it also clearly shows a purpose of education that is in dissonance with the objective needs and interests of our people. The Unizulu vision envisages a nuanced understanding of the purpose of university education. It goes beyond a narrow conception of education, which produces employable but dehumanized human capital, to one that encompasses emancipatory and liberative functions. In other words, while university education can be used for subjugation, at Unizulu, we keenly subscribe to the view that it also plays an important, preeminent role in the development of public consciousness, in the generation of new knowledge and competencies that are necessary for meaningful functioning in a complex and ever-changing modern society. Inside the melting point of universities are individual students who, in the final analysis, constitute the locus of investment in the decolonization and transformation effort. It is at this micro level that transformative learning takes place and gets aggregated at societal level. In this connection, Unizulu has continuously paid attention to the enhancement of graduate attributes. Our motivation has been to help students acquire a set of personal qualities, competencies, and values over and above the cognitive skills in their disciplines. Cultivating graduateness includes the development of certain attitudes and orientations towards the labor market, self-development, and responsible citizenship. The purpose here is to strike a balance between education for the marketplace and education for good citizenship, so that by the time student exits a university, he or she is a rounded individual. By allowing a student to graduate, the university is therefore making a powerful statement about the individual's readiness to take up his or her rightful place as a productive citizen in an increasingly complex and unpredictable world. It is a world in which, on the one hand, a graduate has to grapple with challenges of correcting the past by participating in the recalibration of development in terms of local indigenous populations, in a way that reestablishes their dignity and self-determination. And on the other hand, championing in an inclusive way the so-called smart approaches to development in the context of the fourth industrial revolution, digital and technological advances. There is no option to ignore or even choose to prioritize these imperatives of modern South African life, as they have become embedded in the purpose of university education. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to say that in 2023, we are graduating a total number of 3,542 students, 3,128 of which are undergraduates, 289 honors, 77 masters, and 48 doctorates. The quality of the graduates we produce is as important as the number that successfully meet the requirements of their qualifications. In this respect, the purpose of university education is to achieve equity of student success. Unizulu, as a so-called historically disadvantaged institution, has made huge strides towards flattening the statistical curve that was showing severe underperformance of the underprivileged students who constitute most of our student body. Our strategy of making student success the driving force of our teaching and learning practices is showing results. In one of his books, The Pedagogy of the Heart, a Brazilian educationist who's well known, Paulo Freire, wrote that, I quote, "I recognize the obstacles, but I refuse to resign in silence." Close quotes. This statement captures the spirit with which we are overcoming impediments to achieving equity of student success. As I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to invite you, the graduates, to join the University of Zululand Convocation. This is a statutory body of which you automatically become a member by virtue of obtaining a qualification from this university. The convocation elects members to university structures and through its affiliated alumni associations supports the work of the university in many other ways. We hope that as an alumnus, you will be able to contribute to the success of this university in a number of ways. We are also confident that the success you are celebrating today will energize you to actively ensure that your alma mater continues to soar to greater heights of excellence. Once again, a warm welcome to everyone and wish you a meaningful and meaning life after university. I thank you. Enkosi kakhulu. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this session, Ms. Dr. Mabizela. I will briefly read his biography. Recently appointed as the Director, Operations and Sector Support at Universities South Africa, Mr. Mahlubi Chief Mabizela is an accomplished senior executive with more than 16 years experience in the development and implementation of higher education policies, measurement and analysis of research outputs from universities, research for policy support, and the regulation and administration of private higher education institutions. He has a proven record of having accomplished strong leadership skills with a high degree of accountability within the public and parastatal sectors. His involvement in higher education policy came at the back of a lengthy stint of more than 13 years as a researcher of higher education. Equipped with a master's degree in education from the University of the Western Cape, Mr. Mabizela has served as a Chief Director responsible for higher education policy in the Department of Higher Education and Training of South Africa. As a published author, he has been involved in the authorship and implementation of several policies in the higher education system of South Africa, including the Research Output Policy of 2003 and revised in 2017, Regulations of Private Higher Education Institutions of 2016, the Policy Framework on Internationalization on Higher Education in South Africa 2020, the revised language policy framework of 2020. Mr. Mabizela has been the principal author of the analysis reports of the higher education research outputs since 2007. Mr. Mabizela has served on various governance structures, including being a ministerial appointee in the board of the National Institute for Humanities and Social Sciences, South African Council for Social Services Providers, and the South African Nuclear Human Asset Research Program, in which he was an advisory board member, he was an advisory board member of the Technology and Human Resources for Industry Program, that is TRIP in short, of South Africa, and acted as a review oversight committee member of the Mathematical Research in South Africa, and he has been a strategic advisory committee member for the higher education, HIV and AIDS, which is now higher health. Acting Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Mabizela to deliver his speech for the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that nice introduction. The University of Zululand Chairperson of Council, Mr. Kaluza, and all members of the University Council, the University Vice Chancellor, Professor Mtose, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Prof. Nomlomo and Professor Kunene, astute deans of the 4 faculties, management committee members, members of the University Senate, chairperson of the Consultative Forum, the Institutional Forum, our academic and support staff members, President of Convocation, Mr. Nkwanyana, and all members of the Convocation, President of the SRC, Mr. Kumale, and all members of the SRC, donors and sponsors of the university, officials and elected representatives of all the 3 tiers of government, local, provincial, and national, the royal households representatives, media partners, staff and students of the University of Zululand, I greet you all. Sanibonani molweni. Thank you very much for inviting me to this joyous and celebratory occasion. I'm sure I'm not alone in seeing a graduation ceremony as symbolism of the triumph of human endeavor against all odds. An unambiguous demonstration that if you put your mind into something with determination and resolve, then you are bound to succeed. Nothing beats that feeling of satisfaction after conquering a very challenging task, especially one that spans over a number of years. Therefore, congratulations to you all are indeed in order. There are a few things we would like to share with you. And as you heard in my introduction, I come representing the Universities South Africa, which is the association of all the 26 universities in the country. I'm sure there is very little that you will hear and understand today because of the moment that you are in. But I can tell you that what Prof. Nomlomo said in her input earlier, it finds itself common with what I'm about to tell you. So if you find the repetition, I think it's an indication that these are important issues. And by the way, I hope you heard the prayer. It could be possible that you didn't hear it. Thank you very much to the Bishop for the prayer. It was directed at you, and it was praying for you into your future, just in case you didn't hear it. So instead of citing a lot of academics or authors before, as Prof. Nomlomo has said, or as Prof. Nomlomo has cited, Frans Fanon, Paula Frere, Steve Biko. In my case, I will cite Prof. Nomlomo because she has already cited those people. And also, to make things simpler for this moment, we've decided to number the issues that we think you need to know henceforth. So even if you just pick up one, that will be very important to us. Equally importantly are congratulations to all the people that worked behind your success. We are celebrating today. Your parents, guardians, teachers, and educators from your schooling days, lecturers and professors from your university, your peers who served as your campus, and your sponsors, including, of course, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme and Funza Lushaka, in your case. We, or you, can celebrate your achievements today and for the longest time possible, or ad infinitum, as they would say. But the fact of the matter is that today actually marks the beginning of your supposedly changed life, a new page in your life. All your experiences at the universities, inside and outside of the classroom, are supposed to have changed you. And you must feel and embrace that change, because that was the reason you came to the university, first and foremost. To change before you embark on changing other people's lives, your future students, and your family. As a graduate, you must have attained something you did not possess or had little of before, and you must feel the change intellectually, in behavior, and mannerism. That change is partly the reason why you supposedly have advantage over others in the world of work. But, and as a second point, that must never make you to look down upon others. You do not belong to this club if you have not learned humility. The university must have humbled you. And that is the reason everyone expects a different behavior from a learned person compared to everyone else who did not have the opportunity you got. By graduating you, the university says it has found potential, and it has found potential in you, and that it is confident that it can call you one of its own. Its alumni, you have been invited already to formally be part of the convocation, and can release you to become its ambassador. Please do not disappoint your university by becoming something else that it did not mold. In addition to change and humbling university experience, as Universities South Africa, the body that I came to represent, we have an idea of what minimum qualities we seek from our graduates across all our 26 universities. We would like to see graduates, and this is as a third point, continue to be curious. Curiosity is what brought you to the university in the first place. It must not end. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever that all of a sudden that your curiosity will be intellectually answered by Twitter, by Google, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and the rest of the others, and that your professors are no longer relevant. If you think we are wrong, ask yourself, why did you come here in the first place? Why would you then let social media be your professor? And by the way, curiosity is not the same as gossip. You must be curious at what is happening in your community, as you have heard, Prof. Nomlomo, your country and the world. Ask questions and seek answers. In pursuit of curiosity, and as the fourth and related point, we seek graduates who see and derive value in lifelong learning. Batsho abangaphambili bathi sifasifunda, asiphelelanga namhlanje ngoba sifumane izidanga. And fifth, we seek to produce graduates who are critical. The biggest mistake you will ever commit as a graduate is after all these years you spent getting yourself educated, you become a mere cheerleader. That is suspending all your thinking faculties ahead of admiration of others who often have nothing important to offer, but just loud-mouthed. Please think about that for a moment. Remember they say empty vessels make the most noise. Having said that, we do not expect you to question things just for the sake of it. It should be for the reason to seek that makes sense and in pursuit of truth, which continues to be a moving target and therefore elusive. After all, you are officially educators, and we expect you to teach and educate students and communities to be critical and reason things, and not be swayed by sweet talkers who are often rubbing sand in your eyes and create smoke and mirrors for you not to have a clear view. Seek to see through that. And sixth, we would like to see our graduates staying engaged with communities and societal matters, with the same purpose of listening, learning, educating others, and bettering our communities, with your wisdom indeed that you have gathered from the University of Zululand. In other words, we seek to have engaged graduates. Remember, however, you are not going to have a meaningful engagement if you do not listen first, remain curious, and yourself engaged in lifelong learning. You will inform others if you remain informed yourself. And as a seventh point, and finally, but for me, the most important point is respect. It has remained the same phenomenon that you were taught at home, and it does not change, and you are expected to apply it in every context that you come across. It remains the same thing that you expect others to show towards you. It will be the same thing you will expect from your students. Show respect your education, your qualification, your degree, diploma, or certificate. To your fellow graduates and academics who saw you through to who you are today. Towards the gown that the university has donned on you. In fact, donning a gown is itself a sign of respect. Please respect it. It is the same respect that our parents show when they don their jackets and scarves or shawls when they are to stand and address people. It is the foundation of dignity and integrity. And they sing, of course, and say RESPECT. There are many opportunities that are opened that you must seek. Look for scholarships that will take you out of your comfort zone and go to other countries to further your studies. Just by landing in another country, you will learn a lot. Do not be afraid to do so. Go and explore. Our country needs graduates who have a world view, who understand what is happening out there, and who have that experience of that world view. And lastly, the world is changing. When you wake up every day, please remind yourself that the world is changing, and it requires you to change with it. Don't remain in the same place. Enkosi.
Il mondo gira con me questa notte, dico i passi che faccio con te. Se tu lo cuore si quella luna, qualcosa mostri, qualcosa no. Il mondo gira con noi questa notte. Esistessi lontana da qui, un posto dove scoprire il mio cuore, sapere se lo più amato no, e girerò il cuore mio assieme a te, e girerò la terra, girerò la mia vita, e un giorno lì si capirà. Girerò il cuore mio assieme a te, e girerò la terra, girerò waiting to be warned. Till the Lord Jesus, by the healing waters, goodness of the God, in the sons and daughters. Till the Lord Jesus Read the prayer for Africa. God the Father's love may reach down and bless all hearts. God the heavens love, till the Lord Jesus
Acting Chancellor, honored guests, I shall now proceed with the conferring. I shall now proceed with conferring degrees and award diplomas and certificates. I request the candidates to take up their positions, please. And I call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Professor Ntombela, to please present the candidates for various degrees and diplomas. Acting Chancellor, I now have the honor to request the Dean of the Faculty of Education to present the graduates to you.
May I request all candidates that have not been asked to stand up to sit down. Faculty of Education, you are teachers, professionals. You can't do this. Just get seated so that we can start. Thank you.
Acting Chancellor, I request you to confer postgraduate degrees to the candidates as well as those persons in absentia whose names appear on the program.
Confer the degree of postgraduate studies on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you postgraduate degrees. I will start with the Doctor of Education
I
candidates.
confer the degree of Doctor of Education on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Tembinkosi Cuthbert Buthelezi. The title of his study is A Mentoring Model to Enhance Work-Integrated Learning for Bachelor of Education third-year student teachers within the King Cetshwayo district. He was supervised by Professors Kutame and Ngidi, Professor Kutame and Dr. Ngidi, and Dr. Ngidi will read the citation.
The aim of his study was to develop a model to enhance the mentoring program for Bachelor of Education third-year students within the King Cetshwayo district, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. Mentoring plays a significant role in professional development of pre-service teachers, especially the teaching practice exercise, which is geared towards exposing students to real-life classroom teaching experiencing before they are eventually certified. The result revealed that while there has been a noticeable interest among educators to mentor pre-service teachers who go for teaching practice exercises, these seem to be a dearth of models or techniques to guide subject mentors on what to do when it comes to effective mentoring of pre-service teachers. Subject mentors rely mainly on their exercises and expertise to mentor pre-service teachers without following any mentoring program. The study also showed that any communication breakdown between the university and the whole school subject mentors has a negative impact on the student teachers. A 6 grounding model was developed. The study recommends for universities with BA degree programs to conduct adequate screening and pre-assessment of selected primary and secondary schools before mobilizing pre-service teachers to such schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Acting Chancellor. May I present Tembinkosi Cuthbert Buthelezi for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Buthelezi. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Buthelezi. Thank you.
Ephraim Piet Dlamini. The title of his study is Principals' Leadership Practices and Their Influence on Primary School Teachers' Performance in Shiselweni region of Eswatini. He was supervised by Professor Nzima and Dr. Kapuye. Professor Nzima, please read the citation.
The aim of the study was to explore principals' leadership practices and their influence on primary school teachers' performance in the Shiselweni region of Eswatini. And a sample of 10 primary school principals and 100 teachers was purposively drawn from a population of primary schools in the targeted region. Then a mixed method approach was used to collect both qualitative and quantitative data. The findings of the study revealed, amongst other things, that there was a strong positive correlation between teachers' performance and principal leadership styles. However, the findings indicated no particular leadership style was suitable in all situations. To improve teacher morale, principals need to be supportive, and the school environment has to be conducive. The findings further revealed that teachers' performance was positively influenced by adequate teaching and learning materials, as well as opportunities for professional growth and fulfillment. Based on the findings, the study concluded that good leadership practices promote effective teaching and learning. The study recommends that principals should adopt situational leadership practices and should involve teachers in decision-making so that teachers do not feel alienated. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Acting Chancellor, I am presenting Ephraim Piet Dlamini for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Dlamini. I present to you Dr. Dlamini.
Pelele Sanele Makubu. The title of her study is Emotional Intelligence, Life Skills Program in Prevention and Management of Bullying Behavior in selected Amajuba district schools. She was supervised by Professor Sumesh Nikavenda and co-supervised by Dr. Chinaka. Dr. Chinaka, please read the citation.
The aim of the study was to assess the role of emotional intelligence in the prevention and management of bullying behavior in schools. An explanatory sequential design was used to collect and analyze the data. Quantitative data was collected, followed by qualitative data. The effectiveness of the program was assessed to determine whether it can be used as an intervention tool to decrease bullying behavior. The sample population of 114 learners was selected using purposive sampling. Of the 114 participants, 57 were bullies and 57 were non-bullies. The participants' level of emotional intelligence was assessed by means of the emotional intelligence test. The overall assessment of the emotional intelligence revealed that learners who were identified as bullies scored lower on the overall emotional intelligence. In addition to the assessment of the overall emotional intelligence, the 4 dimensions of emotional intelligence were also assessed. The findings showed that the bullies scored lower on emotion understanding, emotion and thought facilitation, and emotion regulation compared to non-bullies. Participants in the experimental group scored higher on emotional intelligence when compared to participants in the control group post-intervention. This indicates that the implementation of the program was effective. Narratives from the participants were used to corroborate the quantitative data collected and provided support for the effectiveness of emotional intelligence life skills program as an intervention tool used to decrease bullying behavior in schools.
Acting Chancellor, I'm presenting Spelele Sanele Makubu for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Makubu. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Makubu.
Patrick Ramatlape Mamabulo. The title of his study is The School-Based Teaching of Sexuality Education in Public Rural High Schools in the Capricorn North District, Limpopo Province. He was supervised by Professor Nzima. Prof. Nzima, please, thank you.
The growing number of teenage pregnancies in schools is increasingly becoming a disconcerting issue locally and globally. Therefore, the study aimed to investigate the effectiveness of the type of lessons that are applied for adequate teaching and learning of sexuality education in public rural high schools in Hamatlala rural community in Limpopo province. It further sought to investigate the teaching and learning of sexuality education from 10 public schools in the identified district. The findings revealed that sexuality is a taboo subject and the teaching around it is concealed in the use of well-mannered language and euphemisms and kind gestures. Furthermore, the findings revealed that schools have the limits of implementing sexuality education. The study recommended the need to organize workshops to assist teachers to become comfortable with mediating very sensitive topics with learners on issues related to sexuality education. Thank you.
Acting Chancellor, I'm presenting Patrick Ramatlape. Acting Chancellor, may I present Patrick Ramatlape Mamabulo for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Dr. Mamabolo. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Dr. Mamabolo. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Spindile and Mary Ngobo. The title of her study is Use of Excursions as a Pedagogic Practice for Social Sciences, the case of secondary schools in the Pinetown District, South Africa. She was supervised by Professor Dube and Dr. Nzama. Professor Samantha Kapenda, please read the citation.
The study explored the use of excursions as a pedagogical practice for social sciences in the Pinetown District, South Africa. The study was framed using a case study research design. For data generation, the study was sampled purposely with 7 social sciences teachers for grade 8 and grade 9, and 5 school-based heads of departments for the humanities from each circuit management center using semi-structured interviews. Data was analyzed using thematic data analysis. The study found that excursions are useful in developing learners in diverse skills and interest in the subject. They expand learners' worldviews. They serve as team-building mechanisms. They promote experiential learning beyond the confines of the classroom and exposes learners to different contexts, which enhance the understanding of subject knowledge. However, this study reveals some challenges in organizing excursions, which include the turnaround time for approval of excursions by the Department of Basic Education, lack of support within the school parents' financial constraints, and unruly learner behavior. The study recommends that the excursion program be designed at the beginning of the year to allow teachers to engage in proper planning, excursions to be made compulsory for the schools, and to allow teachers to engage in proper planning and excursions to be made compulsory for all the schools. The Department of Basic Education to promote the use of excursions, since some schools do not organize them for the learners, and the DBE should expedite the approval process so that organizers can have ample time to organize excursions. Thank you.
Acting Chancellor, may I present Sipindile and Mary Ngobo for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Dr. Ngobo. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Dr. Ngobo.
Congratulations. Please do it. Please do it. Runzani Justice Randela, the title of his study was Pedagogical Content Knowledge of Life Orientation, Teaching of Life Skills among Learners in the GET band in Vembe district. He was supervised by Professors Kutame and Nzima, and Prof. Kutame will read the citation.
Life orientation teaching in general education and training and in the Vembe district has been a challenge. The aim of this study was to investigate the pedagogical content knowledge of life orientation in teaching of life skills among learners in GET band in Vembe East District. The study used both qualitative and quantitative approaches, collecting data through questionnaires and face-to-face interviews. Findings show that teachers must be masters of their subjects for them to be proficient and effective in delivering the content of learners. Life orientation, if successfully facilitated, may influence learners' lives and redress the social and economic disparity of the post-apartheid era. Life orientation assists learners to take right decisions when solving problems. The study recommends that teachers should be motivated towards furthering their professional qualifications in life orientation teaching. Thank you very much, Prof.
Acting Chancellor, may I present Runzani Justice Randele for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Randela. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Dr. Randela.
Vincent Tito Smith. The title of his study was Complexities in Availability of Mathematics and Physical Science Teachers in Rural High Schools within King Cejwayo District. He was supervised by Professor Kutame and Dr. Dlam. Professor Kutame, please.
The aim of this study was to examine the complexities in the availability of mathematics and physical science teachers in rural high schools within King Cejwayo District. It explored factors responsible for the poor performance among grade 12 learners. Findings indicate that rural environments demotivate the teachers. Most teachers stay for 2 years to 3 years before they leave the area. It is difficult to keep mathematics and science subject educators in rural schools. The study further established that few students are being trained to teach mathematics and science-related subjects, which affect the supply and demand. Some schools have even discontinued the teaching of mathematics and physical science. The study recommends that there should be efforts to retain teachers, which include giving them incentives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. You can wait here. Acting Chancellor, may I present Vincent Tito Smith for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Dr. Smith.
Ngwakana Emily Tenga, the title of her study is Impact of Obesity on Learner Academic Performance in Rural Secondary Schools in Vembe District. She was supervised by Professors Kutame and Nzima. Prof. Kutame will read the citation.
The emerging scourge of overweight and obesity are attributed to their consumption for high energy-dense foods, poor nutrition, lifestyle transition, and little physical activity, which cause serious developmental health problems, psychological complications, and cognitive dysfunction. These debilitating challenges consequently affect children's growth and development and result in academic underachievement. The aim of this study was to assess the impact of obesity and result in academic underachievement. The aim of this study was to assess the impact of obesity on learner academic performance in rural secondary schools in the Mvudi circuit of the Bembe district, Limpopo province, South Africa. This study used convergent parallel mixed method design in collecting data through questionnaires and in-depth face-to-face interviews and observations. Simple random sampling and purposive sampling procedures were used to select a total of 130 school learners, 5 teachers from participating rural secondary schools. The study established that obesity has the capability of directly impair the psychological, psychosocial, and economic dimensions of learners, which exert an important impact on academic performance. Nutrition, gender, physical inactivity, industrialization, sedentary lifestyle, and bullying were found to have adverse effects on learner academic performance. The study recommended that government sectors, teachers and parents, learners should work together in addressing the challenges caused by obesity as it exerts an adverse impact on the academic attainment of learners. Thank you.
Acting Chancellor, may I present Ngwakana Emily Tenga for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Tenga. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Dr. Tenga.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Doctor of Philosophy candidates.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Preeti Gubega, the title of her thesis is Enhance School-Based Assessment Practices in a Grade 4 Natural Sciences and Technology classes at Amajuba, Enhance School-Based Assessment Practices in Grade 4 Natural Sciences and Technology classes at Amajuba District. She was supervised by Professor Ngwane and co-supervised by Doctors Adigun and Lawrence. Professor Samantha Cavenda will read the citation.
The study aimed at enhancing school-based assessment practices in grade 4 natural sciences and technology classrooms in Amajuba district. The prospect of this intellectual piece was to improve the existing school-based assessment practices and ultimately improve learner performance in grade 4 classes. The study used constructivism as a theoretical framework of choice. The study further incorporated a participatory action research as a research approach to integrate basic aspects of practitioners' work through their participation action and engaged scholarship. And the data generated were analyzed using the critical discourse analysis. Findings confirms that if educators are more supportive and provides the necessary framework, this would enable learners to understand and master the content knowledge and assessment and find assessment less threatening. Platforms such as clusters and professional learning communities were also found to be stratagems that could improve school-based assessment practices. Finally, the incorporation of formative assessment in lessons to augment school-based assessment is critical with the incorporation of a three-pronged approach: use of best pedagogical approaches, usage of professional learning communities, and school-based assessment moderation. All of these are critical in school-based assessment practices in grade 4 natural science and technology classes. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Acting Chancellor, may I present Preeti Gubega for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
Dr. Kubeka. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Kubeka. Congratulations.
Rose Tandiwe Nkwanyana, the title of her study is Examining the Role of Curriculum Monitoring and Evaluation in Ilembe District High Schools in South Africa, with a particular focus on teaching and learning. She was supervised by Professors Mapalala and Dube, and Professor Kavenda will read the citation.
The study examined the role of curriculum monitoring and evaluation on teaching and learning at high schools in the Ilembe district in KwaZulu-Natal. A qualitative research design was used to collect data from from a purposive sample through focus group discussions with teachers and semi-structured interviews with subject advisors, principals, and departmental heads, on-site classroom observation, and document analysis. Data was analyzed through inductive thematic analysis following the measures suggested by Braun and Clark. The study reveals that subject advisors tried to monitor the curriculum, but not effectively because the number of high schools in the district outnumbered the number of subject advisors. In addition, the shortage of time and resources, insufficient support from the district office, and shortage of teachers and union activities were barriers to effective curriculum monitoring and evaluation. The study recommends that all curriculum monitors need to plan, monitor, and support teaching and learning at all levels. Furthermore, principals, department heads, and subject heads need continuous capacitation from the district in terms of curriculum monitoring tools and department policies. The department needs to employ more subject advisors for regular and continuous school support. The candidate proposes a model emphasizing the vision and the policy alignment, planning, duty load, capacitation, and professional development, time management, minimizing school disruptions, monitoring tools, and the availability of resources and support as essential considerations for effective curriculum monitoring and evaluation practices. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Acting Chancellor, may I present Rose Tandiwe Nkwanyana for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Nkwanyana. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Nkwanyana.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you a Doctor of Education. They are not philosophy, Doctor of Education. Simon Ndundu Meli Dlamini. The title of his thesis was Pre-Service Primary Teachers Cognition on MKT for Euclidean Geometric Patterns and its effects in classroom practice. He was supervised by Dr. Chinaka and Professor Moyo. Dr. Chinaka, please.
This research was necessitated by the growing need in the field of pre-service teacher education in mathematics to determine the knowledge required for mathematics teachers to provide effective lessons to learners in Eswatini Teachers College. This growing need for the required mathematics knowledge for teaching is due to research findings that indicate that learners' achievement is directly affected by their teachers' MKT. Even though many studies have been made in this area of mathematical knowledge for teaching, the assessments of Pinofan and others 2016 recommend that a clear understanding of MKT can only be obtained through studies that focus on specific topics. Hence, in this study, the focus on MKT for Euclidean geometric patterns. The study used an explanatory sequential mixed method approach The participants were 94 final year pre-service primary school mathematics teachers. The MKT framework, as outlined by Ball and others in 2008, underpinned the study. The findings revealed that the pre-service teachers' cognition of geometric patterns was varied, with most teachers having low levels of MKT, with an average of 45% and a standard deviation of 17. The classroom observations showed that there was a positive correlation between the level of MKT and the quality of mathematics learners, with rho equal to 0.9. Based on these findings, the study recommends that pre-service courses on geometry should be designed to empower pre-service teachers with high MKT for geometric patterns. Further research on this area is needed to develop a teaching model for the acquisition of MKT in pre-service mathematics teacher education. Examiner 3, Professor N. Segrecia from the University of Argentina, acknowledged the contribution of the study locally and internationally in mathematics training. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chinaka. Acting Chancellor, may I present Simon Ntuntu Mmeli Dlamini for the Doctor of Education degree.
Congratulations, Dr. Dlamini. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Dlamini.
Wow, congratulations. Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you our Master of Education candidates.
I confer the degree of Master of Education on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Jotham Themba Simelane.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Master of Education, Educational Management.
Ngoki Emmanuel Mahaye.
Well done.
Siyabonga Innocent Mzimela. Zanele Mary Jane Kwabe, Masters attained with distinction.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Bachelor of Education Honors candidates.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Education Honors on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Zekethelo Sanelisiwe Skakani.
Yes, in the middle. Yes, it's mine. Acting Chancellor, I request you to confer the degrees, award diplomas and certificates to the candidates, as well as those persons in absentia whose names appear on the program.
I confer the degree of undergraduate, awards of certificate, diplomas and certificates on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you postgraduate certificate in education candidates.
I award the postgraduate certificate in education on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Sipiwe Nolwazi Mkhize.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the Bachelor of Education Intermediate Phase Teaching candidates.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Education Intermediate Phase Teaching on candidates whose names appear.
Thandazani Lungani Biyela. Zwelisha Ngcebo Bukhosini. Mthokozisi Jacques Buthelezi. Nobuhle Cebisile Buthelezi. Sandile Londeka Buthelezi. Smanga Wonderboy Buthelezi. Halala Cebekhulu. Sipho Senkosi Cele. Londiwe Langelihle Dlamini. Londeka Dladla. Mduduzi Justice Dlamini. Mlondolozi Michael Dlamini. Ncamiso Phesi Dlamini. Nolwazi Dlamini. Nosipho Dlamini. Sandile Lindani Dlamini. Zandile Thandi Dlamini.
Congratulations.
Nombuso Dlomo.
And genuine.
Tuthuko siyabonga Dludla. Minenhle Simphiwe Dludlu. Siphelele Philisiwe Nompumelelo Dubazana. Ngubeko Zithulele Dube. Siphephelo Owami Sisanda Dube. Thenjiwe Mpumelelo Nokubongwa Duze. Nomfundo Mbalenhle Fakude. Siyanda Nkosiyazi Gasa. Zotha Abigail Gasa. Nokwethemba Gazu. Kwanele Gina. Thandiwe Thembile Goqo. Sakhumzi Qumani.
You know, this is your head, and these are the knees. Congratulations, teacher.
Nokwanda Angel Kuma.
Papa. Papa.
Mandisa Nozibusiso Kumete. Pilenhle Nontethelelo Kumete. Ngamsile Pinky Gumede. Hlakanipho Wiseman Gumede. Nqobile Gumede. Sandile Gumede. Am I twins? Yes. Oh. So ngiqala ngobani? Okay. Okay. Sanele Gumede and Siyabonga Gumede. Okay, seniyakubiza. Zandile Crescentia Gumede. Kethani Wandile Hadebe. Nogwanda Hadebe. Okay. Fanele sibonge Gcinetheni Hlabisa. Londeka Angela Hlatshwayo. Luyanda Hlengwa. Mlungisi Ndodo Hlongwane. Thandanani Mcimbi Hlophe. Zamasa Chigazi. Cebisile Tobeka Triane. Mchabuliseni Triane. Tombentle Gladys Kama. Ngobile Precious Kati. Luyanda Bradley Kawula. Spelele Princess Keswa. Sanele Stembiso Khoza. Silondiwe Khoza. Bandile Amos Khumalo. Nomzamo Khumalo. Nonsigalelo Khumalo. Nontobeko Khumalo. Smangele Debra Khumalo. Spamanda Innocent Khumalo. Thandeka Khumalo. Themba Khumalo. Lusiwe Edith Khuzwayo. Manqoba Kubeka. Nonhlanhla Nomzamo Khumalo. Nelisiwe Sandiswa Kunene. Sakhile Lindani Kunene. Banothile Dudu Langa. Lungelo Langa. Ngobile Nokubonga Langa. Sibonelo Sifundo Langa. Snothile Nontsikelelo Mabika. Ngobile Mabunda. Sanele Andile Mabuya Khulu. Siyabonga Thabani Made. Senamile Madonda. Xolo Dalinjebo Magadla. Mduduzi Andreas Magaya. Okay. Amanda Magubane. Kwanele Magwanyane. Yamgela Lindelwa Magwaza. Nontobeko Pel Makhanya. Minenhle Makhaye. Nonkululeko Ntombi futhi Makhubu. Phumlani Malambule. Thabile Happiness Malunga. Okay. Amahle Kollega Mamba. Sihle Nomsa Mamba. Kwanele Nongcebo Manqele. Lindelwa Benzile Manqele. Pumelelo Isaac Masango. Sabelo Mzamo Masuku. Lungisile Petunia Mathe. Ubani? Sindile Sibekezelo Mathe. Nontobeko Vuyisile Mathenjwa. Sicelo sethu senamile Mathenjwa. Thobeka Nokulunga Mathenjwa. Hlengiwe Mathonsi.
Neliswa Migen Mavuso. Spiwe Mondli Mazibuko. Neba Mazongolo. Nonkululeko Siduduzo Mbatha. Luthando Fairhope Mbele. Khanyisani Bruce Mbonambi. Amanda Londeka Mbuyazi. Mbongiseni Mbuyazi. Sibonelo Mbuyazi. Bongekile Zotholani Mkhono. Nonkululeko Shwelezile Mdladla. Fikile Hlengiwe Mdletshe. Nondumiso Mdletshe. Duduzo Minenhle Mdluli. Sicelo Mnqobi Mdluli. Bavumile Mthe. Thembelihle Hopeness Mgenge. Mthokozisi Innocent Mhlongo. Ntokozo Mhlongo. Perseverance Sibongokuhle Innocentia Mhlongo. Samgelisiwe Victoria Mhlongo. Smangele Mhlongo. Studuzo Blessing Mhlungu. Bonga Blessing Mkhize. Dalumuzi Sakhile Mkhize. Mnqobi Mkhize. Mtshengiseni Manaza Mkhize. Nomkhuselo Mkhize. Nolwazi Pinki Mkhonza. Fezeka Millennium Mkhwanazi. Lindokuhle Patrick Mkhwanazi. Sibonga konke Felicius Mkhwanazi. Nokwethemba Nonhlanhla Mbambo Mlambo. Bethwel Mandla Mlitwa. Sandile Sipho Mlotshwa. Ngobile Mncwabe, degree attained with distinction. Gugu Thobile Mncwango. Sanele Mndaba. Nomzamo Mngadi. Sandile Nhlakanipho Mngomezulu. Wait. Nokwanda Precious Mnguni. Nozipho Mnguni. Nonhlonipho Peaceful Mnikathi. Layizazi Witness Mtambo. Nombuso Isabel Mtambo. Samgelisiwe Mtambo. Lethiwe Precious Mnyandu. Asiphe Mkwena. Khotso. Look at the camera. Khotso Fortune Mlifi. Cebile Nosipho Mpangela. Nokukhanya Matampanza. Simpiwe Mpontshana. Zakithi Vuyisile Mpontshana. Kwandile Nompilo Mpungose. Khayelihle Msane. Nondumiso Caroline Msane. Sandile Msane. Nokulunga Mshengu. Nosipho Msomi. Siboniso Msomi. Maxwell Philani Msweli. Tando yenkosi Anele Msweli. Zabile Mthabela. Busisiwe Mthembu. Hlengiwe Benedicta Mthembu. Kanyiso Nzuzo Mthembu. Nontokozo Mthembu. Jabulile Sithembile Mthethwa. Nombuso Nombulelo Mthethwa. Siboniso Qhawe Mthethwa. Sifundo Nhlakanipho fanele sibonge Mthethwa. Sithembile Mthethwa. Thabiso Sibongokuhle Mthethwa. Sinempumelelo Minenhle Mthiya. Ketuktula Princess Mtiane. Nokuphila Sinesipho Mtiane. Ngobile Happiness Mtiane. Zinhle Mtolo. Nonduduzo Siqiniseko Mtshali. Nondumiso Zama Mtshali. Samgelisiwe Ayanda Mtshali. Siphe sihle Nqobile Mtshali. Thintephi Mtshali. Nokwanda Phosha Mvubu. Nonkululeko Petunia Mvubu, a degree attained with distinction. Nkosikhona Sibongeleni Myeni. Ngobani Siphephelo Mncedisi Mzimela. Siyanda Ndumiso Mzimela. Andile Jerome Ngayana. Sibongo kuhle Nciki. Sihle Nhlakanipho Ncube. Mzimasi Ndadana. Zandile Princess Ndlela. Nomonde Ndlovu. Samgelisiwe Tracy Ndlovu. Thabiso Ndlovu. Zothile Ntombizenele Ndlovu. Buhle Ndlozi. Fanele sibonge Simiso Ndwandwe. Siyathokoza Brandon Ngobo. Well done. Nothando Ngongo. Patrick Thembinkosi Ngema.
Pinki Nolwazi Ngema. Sandile Vincent Ngema. Winile Promise Ngema. Sandile Edita Ngeti. Wait. Okay. Sithembiso Nkanyiso Ngobese. Sinenhlanhla Thembelihle Ngomane. Thembeka Ngubane. Chobani Hlanganani Ngubane. Minenhle Lethukthula Ngwenya. Zinhle Susani Ngema. Ngwenya. Alwande sizoba naye Njoko. Kagiso Thulani Nkosi. Mxolisi Bandile Nkosi. Mxolisi Thando Nkosi. Ndodozo Percival Nkosi. Nele Prudence Nkosi. Noxolo Nkosi. Sinethemba Nolwandle Nkosi. Thulile Philangani Nkosi. Silindile Nkwanyana. Philangezwi Lungisani Nkwanyana. Simpiwe Ivan Ngulunga. Mtabeleng Happiness Njoba. Ntokozo Pretty Ntini. Bongumezi Pilasande Dombela. Nondumiso Dombela. Mnelisi Jangase. Nonkululeko Gcinile Ntuli. Sanele Bongumenzi Ntuli. Wandile Letukuthula Ntuli. Sengiwe Malibongwe Nxumalo. Kuhle konke samkelisiwe Khumalo. Nxumalo. Memory Nxumalo. Mpilis Goodman Nxumalo. Mxolisi Nxumalo. Nduduzo Ephraim Nxumalo. Nokubongwa Messi Nxumalo. Silindokuhle Nxumalo. Nondoduzo Nzimande. Banele Kombisile Mbali Nzunza. Begamaswazi Felix Shabalala. Tabiso Tanda Shabangu. Zimele Charles Shandu. Nomfundo Portia Shelembe. Vuyiswa Shelembe. Londiwe Pinky Shezi. Nsosenhle Shezi. Sinazo Shibe. Anele Sengiwe Shobete. Mfuyo Shongwe. Mtumseni Mtumseni Sibego. Nondumiso Sibisi. Nonsigalelo Nomfundo Sibisi. Ndombi futhi Sibisi. Sfiso Sbiya. Spelele Good enough Sbiya. Tabiso Sibonile Sbiya. Wait. Talente Sipiwe Smelane. Yenziwe kuhle Smelane. Siza Melusi Sithole. Nokwazi Sarah Sikhosana. Thandeka Sokhela. Nokwanda Thuleleni Tembe. Ziboyisile Twala. Avela Kazi. Nomfundo Vilakazi. Hiwa Inkosi Thokozani Vilana. Thandeka Precious Vilane. Lucky Eric Tlaba. Tabile Portia Tagaza. Lutando Sinenhlanhla Ximba. Nomfundo Ximba. Lindokuhle Yolanda Xolo. Mbalenhle Xulu. Nokwazi Simangele Xulu. Sinethemba Bungumenzi Xulu. Nondumiso Zagwe. Zanele Zagwe. Samgelisiwe Fortunate Zangwa, Mbalenhle Precious Zigalala. Nogwazi Princess Zigalala. Tabiso Mtobisi Zigalala. Nelile Zikali. Kosingiphile Zikali. Sinenhlanhla Zikali. Pelelani Samsanga Wesley Zondo. Zondi, I mean, sorry. Slindile Pel Zondi. Fanele sibonge Ayanda Zulu. Fanele sibonge Xolile Angel Zulu. Nogwanda Tandega Zulu. Sifundo Hlakanipho Zulu. Sphindile Thembile Zulu. Msawenkosi Zuma. Nkululeko Frederick Zuma. Ntombi futhi Nonkululeko Zungu. Sihawukele Nomasonto Zungu. Sinokubonga Quentin Zungu.
Isempangeni, kona bahlangeza,
isempangeni kwanakazangeza eyunizulu ilapha iphimbisana isempangeni kwanakazangeza eyunizulu ilapha.
Oh halala, oh halala, halala sanbongela, halala, halala sanbongela we, sanbongela, halala, halala sanbongela. Oh halala, halala sanbongela, halala, halala sanbongela we. Hey sanbongela, halala, hey halala sanbongela. Oh halala, halala sanbongela, halala, halala sanbongela we. Hey sanbongela, halala, halala sanbongela. Hey Unizulu, esikhuthaza ukuthi hey Unizulu, esikhuthaza ukuthi hey yobheke manje sesiphumelele. 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 Homa mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Homa mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Homa mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Shaywan. Homa mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Shaywan. Homa mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. 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 Hey mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Hey mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Oh mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Oh mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Oh mundo sekhola lamaqhawe. Oh mundo sekhola lamaqhawe.
Thank you, choir. Thank you very, very much for elevating the event to another level. We will proceed with our program, and what remains for the faculty now is to announce top achievers. And in this session, we had one person who happens to be Ngobile Mngwabe, Bachelor of Education in Intermediate Phase Teaching. Ngobile, please come forward.
Chairperson of Council, Ms. Nomarashia Kaluza, in absentia. Deputy Chairperson of Council, Dr. Kaniki. Vice Chancellor, as an acting Chancellor, Prof. X Ntosa. President of Convocation, Mr. Nkwanyana. Program Director, University staff present, President of the SRC, Mr. Siemgela, Yaya, Mamillion, Mnikazi wempuphu Khumalo, and the entire leadership of the SRC present. Abazali, okuyibona that have been with us, supporting and nurturing us. University Management Executive, and finally, the graduates, osingabo, siyanibingelela. Ngizothanda ukuphinde ngibingelele ku-supervisor wami we-masters, uDr. Ngubane. Izolo bengingamboni ngize ngabuza ku-Prof. Ngiyabuza ku-Prof. Mhlongo, wasengilayela yena ukuthi semuhle kakhulu namhlanje akasabonakala. Ngiyakubingelela doctor. My name is Piliso Khumalo, the Secretary General of the SRC. Please receive my warm and heartfelt greetings. We meet today to celebrate the journey of a black child whose journey has been flawed by challenges emanating from the poor background. We meet today to celebrate the victory of the downtrodden, dehumanized, and degraded. Today, we join hands with the young people from the dusty streets of our country to celebrate this enormous victory. We rejoice because this has not been easy for us as young black children growing up in a society characterized by anti-education stereotypes, an anti-intellectual mob, tributaries, drug abuse, and many other challenges facing our country. We rejoice because some of us have been told we are good for nothing, but we still made it. Young people, we must not end here. We must take up the fight against the high rate of unemployment. It is young, educated people who have the responsibility to take this country forward. Franz Fanon correctly explicates that, and I quote, each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. It is up to us whether we betray or fulfill our mission, fellow graduates. Our mission should not only end with us getting our degrees. As a generation, we must become agents of change in our communities and be exemplary leaders in everything we do. A rhetorical question would, if it is not us, then who? If not now, then when? The spiraling level of unemployment is a sign that we must all change our thinking toward entrepreneurship. In fact, as a generation, we must fight to ensure that at the early stages of education, our children are taught about entrepreneurship. To our unsung heroes, abazali, abasebenza emakhishini, abadayisa emgwaqeni, abangathathi entweni, abaqokelwa ulala bengadlile, ukuze sikwazi ukuphila thina ingane zabo. Siyanibongela, sengathi uNkulunkulu angalula isandla abantwana benu bethole imisebenzi bebe ngothisha. Your children have made you proud, and I promise you that they will never forget the support you gave them throughout the university years. Bazali, this success is your success. The degrees belong to you. Maybe some of the students here are the first graduates of the family. They have broken the generational blockage, and they will open doors for success. More joy and happiness. Let us all celebrate and be thankful to God and our ancestors for this wonderful blessing today. One of the important things that I would like to share with you is that as we understand the status quo of our country, we therefore have a task as young people when you go out there to advocate for the socialist system and abolish any form of capitalism and Eurocentrism by making certain that all means of production are owned by the majority, not the few. We must be inspired by the ways of the late former black South African leader, Chris Hani, the only socialist that we had in South Africa. When he defines socialism in the simplest terms, and I quote, socialism is not about big concepts and heavy theory. Socialism is about decent shelter for those who are homeless. It is about water for those who have no safe drinking water. It is about healthy care. It is about a life of dignity for the old. It is about overcoming the huge divide between urban and rural areas. It is about the decent education for all our people. Socialism is about rolling back the tyranny of the market. As long as the economy is dominated by an unelected, privileged few, the case for socialism will exist. And I close quote. In conclusion, Denzel Washington reminds us that there's a lot of joy to be found in reflecting upon your experiences as you work toward your dreams. Learn to laugh at your failures, smile at your wins, and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. The journey has not ended, but we must strive for newer and better challenges. Our graduation serves as a stepping stone as we move forward into the outside world. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we will fly the flag of our institution and make us proud, and your families proud. Before I sit down, I would like to recognize one of our graduates, Cindy Lemate. Leadership, you are recognized. With all this, I thank you. Ngiphinde futhi as SRC umkhandla abafundi sinifisela inhlanhla bafowethu niyithole imisebenzi makukhanye injabulo ayigcwale emakhaya igcwale emehlweni wonke umuntu omnyama. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Acting Chancellor, Professor Mutose, the Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Nomlomo, University of Zululand Management, both EXCO and MANCO, President of Convocation and Alumni in absentia, representatives from the Mkwanazi Traditional Authority, chiefs of the local traditional authorities, SRC president, representatives, our guest speaker, Masuvi, often as we know him as Chief Mabizela, mayors, district of local municipality, special guests, business parties, parents, guardians, relatives, and sponsors, most importantly, you, the graduates. Let me begin by quoting former President Nelson Mandela, who said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." A graduation signifies many things. It indicates progress, growth, and transformation. I'm honored on behalf of Council to share this momentous occasion with you. The graduation is a validation of your academic hard work and dedication through trying circumstances, which has included the perilous global pandemic, and of course, the energy crisis, which has translated into load shedding. Congratulations on your graduation through these difficulties. Your graduation has placed you in good stead to navigate through the challenges of life. You have the education to change the world, as Mandela suggested. In your small way, stay focused on the goals. Otherwise, the time that you have spent and the money you have spent at the university will be a waste. Your journey as a student may have come to an end today, but you must never stop learning, as of course our guest speaker indicated. For your success should be a springboard to further success. Remember that success at work will not come in the first month of your taking up any particular post. Ensure your diligence, commitment, and increasingly, as perhaps the Chief Justice Zondo and our Chancellor would have said, remember to keep your integrity. It's an important part. I wish to express my gratitude to the key role players in your journey that, in spite of the said challenges, collectively continued to make this ceremony a success. Namely, of course, the Vice Chancellor and her Deputy Vice Chancellors, the Deans of Representative Faculties, Office of the Registrar, the Communication and Marketing Division, the Protective Service Division, Information and Communication Technology Division, the Physical Planning and Operations Department, Health Services, that's Dr. Mashaba, and Sister Mkonazi, the cleaning staff of the university, SRC, and of course, how can I forget? The last 2 days, I've forgotten about the fun we've had. The choir, of course. I forgot to thank you the other day. I forgot to thank you yesterday. So I thank you, I thank you, I thank you for the great work. You have made this very lively. Thank you very much. Congratulations, you graduates, once again. Thank you for gracing this particular. Thank you.
Honored guests, I hereby declare this graduation ceremony officially closed. On behalf of the congregation, I would like to thank you for your presence in this ceremony. I request everyone to stand.
Nkosi sikeleli Afrika, maluphakanyiswa komdolwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu. Nkosi sikelela thina, lusapho lwayo. Morena buluka sichaba sa Yesu, ufedise kintwali matwenye usibuluke sichaba sa Yesu, sichaba sa South Africa. South Africa, enti plofano segele, enti dipevano se, oro seme pepepetes, panicase atmonde, South Dakota to come to let us be for freedom in South Africa. Viva profesores, viva academia, viva profesores, viva Nembram Qualibates, viva Nembram Qualibates, sempre si flore, sempre si flore, viva academia, viva profesores. Viva profesores, viva academia, viva profesores, viva membran qualities, viva membran qualities, sempre si flore, sempre si flore. Viva academia, viva profesores, viva academia, viva profesores, viva membran qualities, viva membran qualities, sempre si flore.